Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tessa, the Artful Colorist. Today I'm going to be talking to you about cutting out and taking the binding off your coloring books. And I'll fold the first cover page till it gives me a crease in the book. And I try to fold it as nicely and as sharply as I possibly can. And this just gives me a guideline to kind of cut from. And allows me to do that. And I always flip it because I'm right-handed, so I like to use my knife in my right hand. And then so what I do is I take my X-Acto knife and my straight edge and I line that up, and actually I'm going to do it all the way open. And I do light, gentle passes over the book, making sure that I cut evenly. And then once you get a couple pages in, you really are not going to need to use the ruler anymore. Like once you get through the first page, you're not going to need the ruler anymore. And I always like to set aside my pages, and this I tend to see where it's starting to come apart, so I do that and I just flip them out so I know exactly what order they go in. And so what I do is, now that I've taken the cover off, I use the binding of the page to give me a guideline of where to do light passes over. And then I go check and I see if the pages are free and I pull them off. And I make sure that, and at this time it can take about 5 minutes for me usually. I know that some people like to use a hairdryer and open up the bindings and take the binding off that way. But for me, I don't really like doing that. I like doing it slowly like this so that for me I get a crisp, clean line. And then I have a little bit of a guideline to kind of go over everything. And then I kind of just go and see where I can lift off, and I flip them over. And that's what I do. I just go through the whole book. And then when I'm done with that, I like to go in and I'll number all the pages so that I know where they came from and what part of the book they came from, so that when I'm not coloring pages, I can put them back in order and have them in relatively nice kind of an organization. Yeah, so that's basically how I do it. And then I just make real nice, slow, gentle passes until I get all the pages cut out. And I just want to do this in real time so that you guys can see what I'm doing and how I start from the top and I make a long pass and I move my arm. And not just kind of, I do a long stroke. I don't do short little cuts. I do one fluid motion to make sure that I get all the pages cut out nicely and they're even. And this, once you get the side of the binding right here, this edge here, once you get that kind of established, it really makes it easy. And once you get used to doing this process or this method, you can actually go quite kind of pick up your pace a little bit. But I like to be even in how I cut, so that when I go back to put them back together as a book, not like per se of binding it back together, because I don't do that because I like having my pages individually. And so I get a couple pages and kind of see where it will come up. And sometimes you might have to do, you get one half of the page done and then you get another half of the page done. Sometimes they don't all come up. And you'll notice that like this one is not fully done, so I just stop, take the pages out, and keep cutting. And that's how I like to cut my pages out. And then what I do is I'll take them and I'll go like this, and this is how I like to store my pages in the book, like that. I store it so I have the front cover loose and the back cover not loose. So after I'm done taking the book out of the binding and having it loose, what I like to do is I'll take the book and I like to flip it over to the last page of the book, the last actual image in the book. And what I'll do is I'll number them. I say, sometimes I like to do the name of the book and the number of the page. And so I'll do that and show you quickly. Just give you a couple little examples. And so I do go through the whole entire book and I number all 50 pages. And depending on how big the book is, I'll go through and number, if it has 100 pages, I'll number all 100 pages so I know exactly where the book page came from, so that if anybody has wants me to reference a page, like which book was that or what design was that, I can say, oh, it's from Nifty Flowers number 10, and that's how I like to reference it. Or if it's page 5, I say flowers number 5 or number 5 flowers, depending on that. And then when I do finish a piece, what I normally do, I haven't done it in this book yet, so I'll show you how I do it. So when I get through finishing a piece, what I like to do is I'll go in and I'll find where that piece went. So like here's number 8, and I did this as a fall kind of tribute to fall time. And what I'll do is I'll go in and say, okay, I finished number 8. So when I go to the front cover, this is just for me, just a quick little reference guide on how I like to do the things. And you can do it however way you want, but this is how I do it. And it does work for me. It allows me to have a nice, quick, and easy way of understanding and knowing what pages I've done and haven't done. So I go done number 8. And that just helps me understand where I've done and what I haven't done. And because I'm not one of those people, I don't like to do all of the pages in order. It's just not my kind of style. Some people like to go start from page 1 and go through all the different pages and actually start from page 1 and work their way through the book. My method of how I like to start a page is go through the book, and whatever jumps out at me, I color it. That's how I do it. So I hope this video was informative, and I hope that it helped you and you got some information that you may want to try out. And some people like to also take their books, if they don't cut the pages out, some people like to also cut the pages out like this and then copy them onto cardstock or onto expressed blending card, or my favorite, as I mentioned in a previous video, is the HP Premium Laser Jet 32-pound copy paper. And that's what I like sometimes on more intricate designs, because it does help me and allows me to get in without having too much bleed with my Copic markers or my Spectrum Noir markers. So this is how I like to do it. I hope that this video was informative, and I hope that it gave you some ideas and thoughts on how to organize and cut out the pages from your book, if that's something that you want to do. Please, if you like this video, please hit the like button down at the bottom. And if you want, please subscribe and tell your friends about this. And in the future, I am going to be doing some product reviews and talking about more than just coloring. I want to kind of get into talking to you guys about watercolors, and that's my next method, and I have a couple of different ideas for some videos. So stay tuned, and hope you like this, and please hit the like button down below, and I will make a list on everything that I've used in this video. Thanks, and see you guys soon.